Hello and welcome to Bethan's Kitchen and Garden. Today we're going to be doing that plot tour that I promised you in the last one. So I won't waffle anymore, let's go and have a look around. So we'll start off with this bed by the conservatory. Hopefully we won't get too much wind interference. This is mint. It is growing quite well actually. It's coming back strong, it's just getting going. So that's really good. In this bed I've got garlic, not quite sure of the variety. It was saved from last year, so some of it is Marco and I think some of it is something white, like, oh I don't know, anyway. And then these are self-seeded coriander plants, so I've left them in and hopefully they won't interfere too much with the garlic growing, and the garlic won't interfere too much with them. So this garlic bed looks like it's doing well so far. It has survived all the frost, which is more than can be said for the broad beans, because I had 3 rows of broad beans and I think only 4 or 5 plants have survived. Again, here is some self-seeded coriander which I'm just leaving, and I'll just plant the broad beans around them. You know, the seedlings that are in my greenhouse, I'll just plant around them. This looks like a strong plant. The ones that have survived will be strong plants, but yes, I just need to fill in these gaps now. Oh, look at the mess. Look at the mess everywhere from where we took down the old chicken coop. It's in the process of being taken down, and the chickens are there at the moment. They seem very happy, and you can see what sort of like devastation they have done on my lawn, because the lawn was like this one here in front no less than 2 weeks ago, until they decided to set up home there. But they will be going back into that corner once I've cleared out all the manure essentially that's under there. There's like a good, I know, 10 inches of straw and manure there, so that can go into my compost. Nice few daffodils and tulips coming up there, and the Christmas rose, which is a hellebore, but I have seen bees around there, so that's encouraging. We come over to the tayberries. They are just beginning to come into bud now, so that is good. And then swing you back around. Hello chickies. Back over to here really. There's nothing growing in this bed yet. I will be putting those peas that I showed you in the last vlog in there. Oh, I have nothing growing in these tubs here. Whilst I'm here, I always forget to show you this bed in the corner, this conservatory bed. So there's cabbages on this side, and there's cauliflowers on this side. Oh no, they're not. They've died off because of the frost. So I'll be replanting here, and now I'm over here having a look at these cabbages. I think they've bolted because that looks like it's putting a stalk up, and if it's putting a stalk up, it tends to mean that it won't heart up. So these can come out, and the cabbages and collies that I have planted can go in under fleece, and we'll just start again, but we'll take them for the leaves. I've got a lot of wood where I tidied up my, see, I've tidied up this now, which was looking terrible because it had all this wood here. So now all this wood is here instead, making this bit look untidy. And there's my watering system, my irrigation system, which I need to run into the front, or as I like to call it, an irritation system, because it's quite annoying to run in. But we'll come over to here now. This is kale, and this is my purple sprouting broccoli, which is neither purple nor sprouting, although it does look like there are some sprouts or something forming there. So I'm leaving it in and giving it a chance to do something very soon. But my kale is going to seed. You can see that there's flowers coming out. So they are coming out as flowers, but they will provide lovely flowers for the bees. So that's why I'm leaving them in. I'm waiting for some wood to arrive to take out this wood and make these into beds, like these two beds here. So I will have that one changed at the back as well. But yes, there's some Swedes growing here, but these might come out fairly soon because I wanted to put some of those shallots in. So I wanted to grow them in between the celeriac I'll be planting out in about May time, so the shallots can grow on quite nicely now, because they don't mind being in the ground when it's cold. So I might end up taking those Swedes out. And these cabbages, these red cabbages, these are not going to come to anything, because that's the sort of flower stalk I was saying about, the stalk that comes up. If you see sort of like a bit of thickness between the bottom leaves and the next set of leaves, it usually means that the cabbage is bolted. And I think it's the same for these ones too. Yeah. So I'll just take all these leaves off, and then we can put the shallots in the lines that I wanted to. This is still going well, so I'll leave this one in for the time being, and then I'll just take the cover off this here and I'll show you what's occurring under there. So this is going to be the designated carrot bed for this year, but I thought I'd grow some shallots in between the rows of carrots. So I haven't planted, I haven't sown the carrots yet, but there will be like 3 or 4 rows of carrots here, shallots, 3 or 4 rows of carrots there, shallots, and then 3 or 4 rows of carrots there. And at the moment I've just put the radishes in there to see how they are doing, and I covered it in fleece. But I wanted to show you that I did start putting in a row of carrots from the germinated seeds that I used on those pots in my greenhouse that you might have seen in the last tour, and they are coming through now. I've just I need to germinate some more now, and then I'll continue the row down here and down here. But I'm trying to stagger the germination so that they're ready at you know, succession sowing sort of thing. So they're ready at different times, so I don't have like a huge glut all at once. But they are carrots, so they will store in the ground well anyway. But I just thought I'd take advantage of the leeks and the radish being there, and then the spring onion, the shallots. In theory, they should come out without damaging the roots of the carrots, because the carrots will grow down further. And then I haven't got anything in here yet, but I do plan to put some things in here fairly soon, which is why it's been mulched with compost. And then at the moment these are just the only leeks and carrots that I have left to harvest. And again, I do need these to come out fairly soon because I've got some broccoli to go in here, but they're not looking too bad, I suppose. Some of them are been a bit eaten there, but we'll see what they're like. And the leeks don't look too bad. I can plant around them in theory. I mean, the broccoli, if you saw the last vlog, they're only small little plug plants, so they should be okay really. I just need to make sure I got enough fleece to cover it. And then if we come over to here, these were grano violetto broad beans, and again we've had some misses, so I will be filling in some of the holes with those broad beans that are growing in my greenhouse. And then the rest of this bed is weeds intermingled with garlic, but it won't take me long to get these weeds out. I'll do it as soon as possible because well, I don't want them to start to flower. So yeah, so that's that bed. And then here's a closer look of the mess that's over there at the moment. And then these beds, in these 3 tubs here, I've got Jerusalem artichokes, which I just need to harvest, but I won't be growing artichokes again because we never eat them, so there's no point in me growing them really. I've got a couple of, well, I think they're onions from last year that I didn't actually pull out. I did have Swiss chard in here, but it's taken a beating with the weather. That's just an old pot as well that I grew a squash in last year. I just haven't cleared that away. And this is some extra garlic everywhere. And then the trees are starting to come into bud. This is a plum tree, a duo plum tree. So there's 2 varieties grafted onto the one stalk at the bottom. And then the blackberries, well, the blackberries are looking a bit sorry for themselves really. I mean, it's not looking great, is it? But there is fresh growth coming on that one, so hopefully we'll have something growing from there. Getting this blackberry, not sure what to say about that. There is a fresh shoot coming from there, so hopefully we'll have some blackberries this season. Again, an apple tree there coming into bud, but the apple trees, the buds are not very clear at the moment on any of my apple trees, so they must be slightly later than the other fruit trees. And then my rose. Nothing to report on the asparagus bed at the moment. My rhubarb is coming strong now. I'll probably will be able to pick some soon. See, I think that's probably ready for picking. The stems are quite strong in there. Yeah, I reckon I can pick that rhubarb soon. And the rest of the soft fruit is waking up as well. Got a few muscari, and I wanted to show this hyacinth because I'm not a huge flower person, but the colour, the two-tone of the blue is amazes me whenever I see it, and actually it brings a smile to my face. I know, I don't smile much, do I? And one of the other things I did was I moved the grapevine that was there, took the grapevine out from there and planted that grapevine back there. So the grapevine has been moved, and all of these, not much really to report in these beds, or the pots are not really much to report. Raspberries are coming through now, so I'm glad I mulched them when I did, because once they grow a bit it's harder to get in and do the mulching then. Blueberries here, they are not showing any signs of waking up like the ones in my greenhouse at the moment. Could probably do with a bit of a prune as well, thinking about it. So yes. And finally, not much really to report here. There's some beetroot growing there. I'm probably going to plant some cauliflowers here, I think. Nice lot of flowers growing at the back. These are overwintered antirrhinum or snapdragons, so I don't know if they will come back. Here I've got some Welsh onions, which are sort of perpetual onions. You grow them for the green. You just take the green and you leave the bulb in the ground. But I always forget to take the green, so I don't know if I'm going to keep them going. One surviving Swiss chard plant there, and then my bed of beetroot, which I sowed I think last August time, hoping that they would be done before the winter, but they haven't. But there are some in there now that I can take, which I didn't realise. So that's really good. So I'll take some of these. They might be woody, I'm not sure, but I'll take what I can. Some are small and some are big, so I'll leave the small ones in. Well, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed looking around the garden and seeing what I've got on the go. Things are just beginning to wake up, a bit like myself. There's lots of changes that need to be made in regards to cabbages coming out and shallots and cabbages going in and things like that. So lots to be done, and better just keep on plodding on, isn't it? So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing and commenting if you have done so. I really do appreciate it. And all I can say about the plot tour is lovely job, and take care everybody.